Hey everybody, Shane with 3MGTV here. I want to thank Harry Larry for the videos that featured him recently. And if you or anybody you want to know would like to do some videos with me, leave them in the comments below and I'll see if I can do that.
What are we going to learn today?
So today I want to talk about some things that you can try to do if you feel like and are bothered by your band sort of becoming an excuse for people to party. Number one, if you are the boss, be the boss. So every band, and I'll talk about this in another video, needs to have a guy, if you're out playing for money, who is the boss, who can hire people, fire people, fine people, however you want to make up enforcement of rules that you're going to have. So, in the case that the drummer shows up too drunk or gets too drunk or somebody's late all the time, those sorts of things, or if the party is getting out of control every time you play, then that guy can say, hey, this needs to back down or we're not going to be able to play anywhere, because club owners, they're here for you to entertain the party. You're not so much there to party. So next, let's talk about drinking at the gig. I mean, some gigs aren't even going to allow this, so that could be a thing, and you need to see if some of your band members are going to have a really big problem with that. I am not here to say don't drink on the gig. I do. It makes it more fun. Sometimes if you play quite a long gig, it can just get boring, especially if you play by yourself. Here's a strategy, though. Now, back to number one, be the boss. If you like this idea, say this is what it has to be, and then enforce it however you're able. This is a thing that I would try to do with my guys if it came to it. Would be, let's say you're playing a 3-hour gig. You go to start, get you a shot and a beer, take the shot, everybody together, have your big, here we go, and then you go on stage and do the hour. And then when you get done with the hour, you come back and you can have another shot if you want, get another beer, and back on. And then you end up with a shot every hour and a drink throughout. So you get your drinking in. I mean, what do they recommend? A drink an hour is what you're supposed to do. I mean, this is not that much more than that, and you're drinking the beer during the period of activity. Now, look, I'm no expert on alcohol or any sort of medical doctor, but this gives everybody that, oh, we just took a shot party feeling, and something to hold in between songs if you have time to do that kind of thing. And it should keep everybody from getting too far out there by the second or third hour. While we're on the subject, think about, you can't work at McDonald's and take shots. So if you have guys that have a big problem with you sort of raining on their parade or stifling their party, then let them know that they can try to make $100 in an evening that way. Next point, what about drugs? Weed and pills and stuff. Man, look, I am not here for it. I'm just not. Not while you're working, anyway. So, like, here's a scenario. Imagine this. You get set up, you play the first set, everything's cool. You got a good parking spot right behind the loading entrance in the alley, and then some of your guys go into the back to the car, and they do whatever it is that they like to do. While they're back there, 5-0 comes up on the window because he says you need to move the car. And next thing you know, he's on some, is that reefer I smell? Now look, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, or should it be legal or should it not. I'm just saying that that guy might be tired of taking drunk people out of the bar or breaking up fights. You have no idea. And now he's like, ooh, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna mess up this good time. So now your dudes are getting hassled. What do you have, a 15-minute break? Well, he's going to keep you longer than that. So now, at the very best, you're going to be late getting back. At the worst, you're going to go to jail. Your dudes are going to go to jail, and you're going to have to go up to the guy that's trying to pay you money at the club and say, we can't go back on. What happened? Man, the dudes got arrested in the alley. Well, that's unprofessional looking, isn't it? Not helpful. And here's another thing. Like, that's a worst-case scenario, half your band getting arrested. Here's one that I've seen many times. Guitar player comes back too high. He's just zoned out. He's noodly. He's not the same guy as before, or that you practice with, or things like that. That happens. I know there's people that are going to be like, man, that never happens. Da da. Trust me, it happens. Also, not to get too heavy, if one of your guys in your band is trying to do some really hard drugs and you find out, then that's got to be right out. I mean, you're not going to be able to take your 15-minute break, do some heroin, and then come back into the club and just put on the next few hours of the show like nothing happened. The last point I want to make is leave. And I don't mean like in a sort of dare strategy and if your friends pull out drugs, then just leave. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I mean is if you look up and you're the only one in the band that says, I think this is all getting out of hand, we don't sound very professional, it's hurting our product, I'm here to make music, then you're probably not going to be able to stand up and say, all of you are fired and we're going to need new people or anything like that. That's probably not going to work unless you are the guy that books the gigs and makes the money and picks the songs and things like that. But especially if it's some sort of creative endeavor, you're probably just going to have to go and do your own thing. But I encourage you, if that's the case, to go and do your own thing, because what you don't want is to be associated with that band that gets too messed up. Because when you go and get another band and you show up and you go to do your thing, people are going to look at you and say, so what about these guys? Are they going to cause us a problem? Are they going to want to fight with a customer because they got too out there? Are you guys going to come in to break totally different than you left, or not at all? Those kinds of things. So if you got a 5-piece band and you're the only one that seems like they're the ones there to play music, then you were looking for a band when you found that one. I hope some of those ideas helped, or you even found them interesting. This kind of stuff happens a lot, though. It's one of the few jobs where you get to do a lot of stuff that you can't do in any other job. Anyway, leave some comments below. Let me know some of your experiences and also some of the things as a band leader that you've done to deal with them. And maybe we can do some more videos expounding on this. Also, if anybody in your group is too far out there and you think they need help, get them some help. And part of helping them might be getting them out of the band. Just fire them and see if they do this stuff when they sit at home, because they might not.